Hello and good evening to each and every one of you. I am Jocelyn Mathewes and I am greeting you from my pop-up dining room gallery. Yes, it's a dining room in East Tennessee, and I have the artwork of Marcy Parks behind me, and she will be joining us live in just a little bit to talk about her work. So if you just give me a minute, I'm going to invite Marcy to join us, and hopefully she will be on in order to more about her incredible process with acrylic and mixed media and how it relates to emotions. Hello, Marcy.
Hello.
How does it feel?
I am so excited. There we go. Just needed to get adjusted there. But yes, I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for being able to share your work with me and us in this space. My family has really enjoyed having it here. I do wish that this could be a situation where I could have you in my house and we'd be like eating food and stuff, but I think this is probably the next best thing. So,
Yeah, that's so funny you say that because I was scrambling, making like a peanut butter and jelly for dinner, and I was like, dang, you know what would be really good right now? A burger from Timber. I should have
well, allow
planned
me, hang
ahead
on.
and had it here.
So here we go. There's your burger. Sorry you can't eat it, but
Yes.
this is our food feature for tonight is timber. And if you have you been there? Have you been
No,
there,
I
Marcy?
haven't.
Okay.
No, my husband and I keep making plans to go, but it's just one of those things like pandemic life. It doesn't always
Oh
pan
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. No, well, he's doing takeout, and so you can get like the ketchup and the fries, and this is the amazing ramen
Oh
that
my
he's having played
gosh.
with bok choy, and he's oh man, I forget the name of the fancy peppers that he gave to me, and then this is his trout spread, and he made chips out of the trout skins, and
Ooh.
I will admit I snacked on like a few of these things, but you can't really tell yet.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you very much to Nathan Brand over at Timber for those delicious things. And I encourage everybody, I gave him a shout out on Facebook saying you need to go pick something up for tonight, and then you can like be a part of this meal. And I snacked on that, but it's definitely going to be gone by the time the evening
Yeah,
is over.
it
So
looks so good. Yeah, we'll definitely, this has inspired me, so we'll probably be going there this weekend.
okay, good. And you
Just
can tell him
yeah.
like, hey, I said hi. Anyway, please, I didn't get a chance to thoroughly introduce you, so tell us a little bit about yourself and what your art is about and everything else.
Yeah. So my name is Marcy Parks. I live in Bristol, Tennessee. I've lived here for about 21 years now. And if I were to describe my art, so I'm an abstract expressionist artist. I work primarily in
I'll take
mixed
a tour while
media.
you're talking.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
work with a lot of acrylic. Those are some watercolors. Watercolor was actually my first love, and then I started to branch out to other things. But watercolor, acrylic, some graphite, and oil pastels. And yeah, as far as my work goes, my intention really is to create expressive work that is inspired by emotional experiences. So that painting that Jocelyn's sharing right now is my painting about rage that I
Mm-hmm.
painted last year in 2020. And really, if I
I love
had,
the full title though. You're not revealing the full title, which is My Rage is
yes.
like a flower garden.
Yes, so that is My Rage is Like a Flower Garden, and I actually wrote a poem to accompany it in the heat of the moment while I was painting that piece.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, and so my paintings, my work, really, if I had to say that I had a goal for them, is just to inspire people to reflect on their own emotional
I'm gonna hit a
experiences.
I'm gonna hit a real painting here. Well, the other
Yes,
ones are real, but they're prints. This is the
yes,
this
an
is the original.
original. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just to inspire people to reflect on their own emotional experiences and validate their own emotions and just eliminate any shame that they may carry around them.
Mm-hmm.
And So yeah, so my work, that's another print that is called The Loneliness of a Mother in a Room Full of People.
Mm-hmm.
And that too came in 2020. A lot of these were born in 2020 because obviously it was a very emotionally
Yes.
volatile period. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
hey, there's Amy. Hi, Amy.
Yes, so many great people joining. So I think this was also another 2020 painting, right?
Yes, so
Yes.
that is Hopelessly Hopeful. So that was born right around the time, um, right around the time George Floyd had just been murdered, and I was just feeling really overwhelmed and upset with the way the world was turning, or seemed to be, exploding in a way after that. And it was really generated around a lot of that conversation and with the Black Lives Matter movement, and just that feeling that, it's such a heavy and hard uphill climb that we have when it comes to race in America and issues around racism in America. And so at that time, especially with the political climate as well, I was just feeling really hopeless. And then I realized in painting it that it wasn't so much that I was hopeless as much as I was so hopeful that it hurt. I was just
Hmm.
really hopeful for a different world, a more equitable
Yes.
world.
Yes, and the full title of this piece is Hopelessly Hopeful. And
Yes.
I think that that's just it's kind of a it's a for me it struck me as a beautiful expression of how endlessly endlessly you have to keep on putting out the hope for things because otherwise they're just it just doesn't feel like you don't want things to end that way, you know? We have to
Right. Absolutely.
collectively we rewrite the narrative and we hopefully hopefully right
Yes.
end the story in a new way.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, so your work is very gestural and very expressive, and it has its roots in abstract expressionism, if I remember correctly from your artist statement. Do you have any other things that you wanted to influences that you wanted to articulate and pull from?
Um, so as far as people that have influenced me, Adrienne Neves, which I had shared with you from the Artist Mother crew,
Mm-hmm.
she was really what I say is just like one of the dominoes in the domino effect that led up to the collection There Are No Bad Emotions,
Mm-hmm.
being born. And I was really struggling in this period of like I wanted to be more expressive in my work and articulate the fullness of the mess that I was feeling inside. But there was all this fear and hesitation around going that far. And Adrienne had said to me, she's an incredibly talented artist in her own right. I love listening to her speak and I love reading her writing, and her paintings are amazing as well. So if you get a chance, definitely check her out on Instagram at Adieb Art. But yeah, so I was doing a mentorship and she was the mentor, and she had said to me,
I'm going to see if I
whatever
can tag her in there.
yes, tag her, please. She had said to me, whatever you are feeling, your art can take it. And that was just like, it just unlocked something in me. And this realization that, my art is mine.
Go.
It's for me to express myself and to, yes, that's it.
Okay,
Adiab art.
good. I was like trying to remember real quick.
Yeah. It might be an underscore actually after Adiab,
Yeah,
but
either way,
yeah,
you guys can go find Addie, Adrienne Neves on that. And so she's a mentored Marcy for those of you
yes,
who are just joining.
yes, yes, yes. And anyway, so it was when she said that to me, it was like her giving me permission to finally be my full and complete messy self. And that was really transformative, and really, again, a catalyst for the birth of the There Are No Bad Emotions collection.
Now, did the Messy Moments collection come after There Are No Bad Emotions?
Yes,
Okay.
so the messy moments, so those little mini watercolor paintings have
Yes, I'll flip around
been,
to those. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So
So we
those
have
have
this. over here. These are the little messy
Yes.
moments.
Yes. So those have been sort of an evolving practice for me already. I've been making those little mini watercolor abstract paintings for a few years now, but they've definitely grown in their messiness and their expression as well
So they're
as
more
time
messy
has
now than they
evolved.
used to be. I don't know that I've seen your earlier ones.
Yes, yeah, they are way more messy now than they used to be. And those two were just inspired by those messy moments in life that are actually really beautiful. It was actually with one of my friends who's in the chat, Amy. We were both kind of reflecting on hard parenting moments and
Well,
the
there's a
guilt
lot
that we
there.
kind of, yes, exactly. The guilt that we carry in those moments. But, it's also through those moments that our children learn so much. They don't learn anything from us being perfect all the time. They learn the most from us owning up to our mistakes, holding
Oh,
ourselves
yes.
accountable, apologizing. They learn forgiveness in those moments. So it's like they're messy and they're hard, but they're still really beautiful in their own right. And so that's what the messy moments was about.
So you're really mining your own emotions and your own experience and then translating that almost directly to the canvas. Can
Yes.
can you talk a little bit about the giant beautiful piece that is over my shoulder here, the one that's called
Yes.
Memory?
Yeah. So let me start by saying first with my um I see a therapist. I've been seeing a therapist since 2017. She's amazing. Cindy Griffith at Hope and Healing in Abingdon, if anybody needs a therapist. But
I'm
anyway,
a believer in therapy as well.
yes. And she
No
was
shame.
actually yes. And she had actually kind of also been one of those catalysts in the There Are No Bad Emotions collection being born. She had actually asked me in a session, like, what would it look like if you painted your fear?
Oh,
And so
wow.
that's how my fear painting was
Did
born.
she
And
know that you
really,
were a painter? She knew that you were an artist and
yes,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
And so,
Let me flip this one around so we can take a closer look. Here we go. While you're
yeah.
talking, keep talking.
So really, ever since then, that's really been my driving force in my creation as of late, anyway, is, using my art really as that outlet of therapy and using it as a tool for processing whatever memories or experiences or emotions that are coming up for me. And so this large painting, Memories, I was just really dealing with a lot of challenging memories. My dad had just passed away last October, and so our relationship was not perfect. We'll say that. And a lot of those memories from our history had come up, and so you know, painting through that was painting a lot of the sweet moments, a lot of the challenging moments, and all those layers of memories, as well as the layers of reflecting on those memories and the lens through which we reflect on memories, when we're older and we have more perspective. And that's kind of what I wanted to capture in this piece was that layering. And again, those filters through which we see things as we get older and we have different experiences, and how those memories can sort of change and sometimes become foggy, and then in some ways are really clear. So,
I'm trying to get as close as I can here so that everyone can see the
yeah,
texture because that's one of the things that definitely I struggles to come through when we're looking at art that's not in a physical space. And
right.
this piece
Yes.
is 30 by 40 um, and is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank
And
you.
I mean, it's one of those things where you can feel the transmission of the energy behind it, and and that there's something underneath it all. So it's truly a gift. It's
Thank
truly a
you.
gift, and it could just be that I really like tactile things, but it is my favorite piece in the whole assemblage that you've got
Yes.
going on here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's definitely a wonderful, a wonderful gift right behind me. Um, I think I think I'll take a moment to make sure that everyone knows that everything in this exhibit is available through the link in the Eat Art Space bio. You can purchase it. It's up online for 1 week. You can purchase it from me, or you can stalk Marcy and follow her later and get it directly
Yeah.
from her. Either
Yeah.
way, either way, most of the money goes to her. And so I'd encourage any of you, if you see something that you really like on this feed, do go and click through and take a look at
Yes.
that. And you actually have a new collection that's coming out in March. So people should go follow you anyway,
Yes. Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's called Winter. Can you tell us a little bit about the process behind that upcoming set of work?
Yes. So Winter is a group of smaller pieces. So my last collection was huge, and then the collection after that was like those minis. So I wanted to do something in between. So these are all 12 by 12 pieces. There are just a few 20 by 20 size pieces, in inches. And otherwise, the collection is inspired by those challenging seasons in life. So, not specifically the winter season, though the colors are very reflective of winter in Appalachia. Um, but the collection itself is more about those in between periods in life where you're not quite ready to bloom, right? You're not quite ready to produce something, but you're also past the point of harvesting. So it's that
Mm.
in between phase where you're really ruminating and integrating a lot of lessons. And it can be a really challenging period because it's kind of like a waiting period. And, you know, sometimes you have to find stillness in those periods, and stillness, of course, can be really hard. So that collection is about that I guess duality of stillness, but also this heat and intensity that builds beneath the surface. And that's really
Mm.
the image in my mind was, winter in a frozen ground, but then deep underneath the topsoil is heat that's building as the season starts to shift. And yeah, I'm really excited about this collection.
Oh, I'm really excited too.
Yeah.
And the audience can't see this, but I'm staring at the pussy willows that I have here in the studio and thinking about how those are the first signs of spring, and like all of the just the blossoming of things, and how interesting it was that I brought that into the space when it's like, woo.
Yes. I
Okay,
mean,
let's
really,
get
those
woo right
pussy
now.
willows were so perfect. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um, you also have a podcast about that's called Perfectionist in Recovery. And I wanted to ask how you feel the podcast feeds into your creative work as a painter, or what, how that relates to your work. Because you said that you mentioned that you wrote a poem about my rage is like a flower garden, which I actually didn't know at the time with regard to that piece. So is this sort of an outcropping or like an integration of writing and painting? Question mark. Continue, go with that or don't.
Yeah, yeah. So writing is, well, let me go back further.
While you're
So
talking, I'm just going to take another tour.
yeah,
Whee!
do so.
Here we
I
go.
like getting to see it all in your space too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I had always been drawn to art, and in high school, I was always making art. When I went to college, I studied English because there wasn't an art program at the school that I went to, and so literature and writing and
So because there wasn't
creative
an art
writings.
program, you went into English? Like, was it
Yes,
because, or
yeah.
was
If there
English
had
also a thing?
I had liked English, I'd been drawn to it, but I didn't realize that I had the passion for it until I got to
Mm,
college. And
okay.
if I could have done both, I would have done both, absolutely. And if there had been an art program there, I would have just pursued that. But fortunately, because there wasn't, I found this love and this
I'm gonna
passion for
wave at
English
people.
and creative writing. And yes.
The
And
shiny,
so
beautiful
I,
frames.
yes. Um, so I found this love for creative writing, and in that period when I was in college, that was really my main focus was writing. And then afterwards, I started writing more, just like as, creative outlet, and then slowly, gradually made my way back to art and back to painting. And so there's always been sort of this accompanying of writing in with my creative work. And so, yeah, I would say that with the Perfectionist in Recovery podcast specifically, there was just a lot, for me, writing is such another element of creative outlet and creative expression for me, and another way that I process emotion and that I process my experiences. Journaling is a big part of my practice. And so because these creative practices are so essential to my mental and emotional well-being, I wanted to create this podcast to give other people sort of the space to explore that for themselves. And as far as the title Perfectionist in Recovery, I've struggled with perfectionism my whole life. And art is the way that I sort of navigate that experience and loosen the grip on that perfectionist tendency. And so I started the podcast hoping to help inspire people to live a more creative life, as well as a way of, again, expressing themselves, dealing with their own perfectionism if they struggle with that. And yeah, so as far as the podcast goes, I share just thoughts and ruminations and conversations around creativity, perfectionism. I do occasional interviews with other artists or creative people to share, get some insight into their creative process. And really, it's, again, just the idea that art and creativity is not just for artists. We're all creative people. We all have that creative energy in us. It's just how we direct it, whether it's through anxiety or, getting a pen to paper or whatever.
Amen to that. Now, as a last question, because time is running out, you mentioned, the landscape of Appalachia, and I don't want to close out without asking about what that reference point is for you, how that comes into your work. Now, obviously, your work is not explicitly landscape oriented, but talk a little bit about your relationship with our local landscape.
Yeah, so really, Appalachia and the woods and waters of Appalachia are so much my home and source of inspiration. I just feel so at peace and at ease there. And so really with my paintings, on some level, there's an element of that ease and sort of like a big exhale that you can take when you're out on the trails in Appalachia is what I want to have conveyed through my paintings. So as energetic as they may be and as much emotion and intensity they may carry, there's still space for that exhale. And that's really the feeling that I want to integrate into each painting, but also, a lot of the colors from around here. So again, like my winter collection is so much reflective of the winter color palette of Appalachia. And I was joking with someone just the other day about how, like, my favorite colors are dead winter grass, winter tree bark, and like really, really dark velvety greens. Like those are my favorite colors.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, so are those colors and that feeling going to play into the new collection?
Yes, absolutely. So the new
That's so
collection focuses a lot on that really deep, deep velvety green, the really washed out sort of faded blue gray, and some fiery orange. So I'm excited about it.
Oh, I'm excited to see it too. I'm sure that it will be amazing. Are there any, I wanted to go over like a few little personal details with you before we close out,
Sure.
because the time just flies.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh boy. But thank you so much for being here. But will you please share with us your favorite local eating spot? I know we've got timber on the menu tonight, and I'm going to flip around in just a minute and share a little bit more of them. But where do you like
Yes.
to eat in the Tri-Cities?
Oh, that's so hard. Because we're big foodies. So we, like my husband and I love food. We love, and we love supporting local establishments. So I have a few. I can't name just one.
That's okay.
So I love
Lay it
Bristol
on us.
Gardens and Grill. So if I'm gonna go for like, I'm not a big barbecue person, but I do love like good smoked meats. And so Bristol Gardens and Grill is great. I love them. They've got like greenhouses set up and like out, like they've converted greenhouses into like outdoor seating areas that are really cool. And they grow a lot of their own vegetables and produce, which is really awesome. So that's one. Bloom Cafe in on State Street is so good. I love them also. Emily is amazing. She's awesome. And I love, they have matcha now, which is my drink. I love matcha. So I go there almost daily now, which is kind of a problem. And I also really love the Girl and the Raven that just opened in Abingdon. So if you haven't been there, check them out. They are
I love
delicious and
asking people
delightful.
this question because then it's like more places for me to try. It's
Yes.
totally a selfish question.
Yes. Yeah. So if you haven't been there, try that. And then White Birch Food and Juice is also really great in Abingdon. So
Oh, thank you for those recommendations. I will be sure to check them
yes.
out. Now, one
Yes.
last thing. Is there
Okay.
anybody who you especially want to thank or give a shout out to for anything in particular?
Well, I definitely want to thank Adrian because again,
Mhm.
she was such a huge inspiration for me and still is. If you also, when you go follow Adrian, check out her foundation, the Tessera Arts Collective. She supports a lot of non-binary women and Black abstract artists, which is really awesome. And she has a Patreon. She's also doing an abstractionist magazine, which is really cool if you want to
Yeah,
check
I
that out.
saw the call for that. That was pretty exciting.
Yes. And then also, all of my followers and everybody that collects
Oh,
my art, that's really fantastic. I couldn't obviously do this without the support of everyone here, but definitely Amy in the chat. She's been like my rock through this past year, and helped me to get through 2020. So definitely to Amy as well.
oh yes. Anybody who helps us get through this, they deserve
Yes.
mad
Yeah.
props. It's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
that's the story. Well, you're
Yeah.
going to be continuing the conversation on the Facebooks in just a few minutes. But
Yes.
I will conclude by thanking you, but especially thanking Nathan Brand over at Timber. I'm going to show off his food one more time
Yeah.
for all the
Show the
people here.
food.
So this is he rotates his menu because he uses local ingredients and he's a chef himself. So this is like two patty burger with cheese and the ramen using pork broth. And then now your just mouth is watering. And then this is
That
the
ramen looks so
I know
good.
that's the thing I'm going to dig into. The burgers for someone else, but
Yeah.
this is the trout spread that with fried crackers and pickles. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited to dig into all of this. And Nathan's a gem. He was very sweet and helped me out get all this food in the car in the rain. So thank you. But
Yes.
anything else that you want to make sure that you mention? Give us your socials and all of the
Yeah.
other info.
Yeah. So Marcy Parks Art here, obviously on Instagram at Marcy Parks Art, on Facebook at Marcy Parks Art. If you want to go to my website, www.marcyparksart.com. If you want to stay in the know about upcoming collections and my process, you can join the Collectors Club there. And new work is coming on March 12th. So
Oh,
check
that's so
in.
exciting. Oh, I can't wait
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this evening, and I'll see you on Facebook Live.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks, Jocelyn.
Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.